Welcome to this week's Political Notebook. I've got with me here Moipone Malefane from the Sunday Times, who was at the COSATU Congress this week. And there was a lot of action at COSATU Congress.
Yes, a lot of action, but very constructive compared to the last time, because the one that happened 2006, it was more on fighting for Jacob Zuma, and there were disruptions because on the other day, on one, I think it was the second day or third day, Zuma appeared in court in Pietermaritzburg, and the case was thrown out, and there were disruptions and so on. But what was quite interesting this time, the focus was really on policies and things that they did not agree on with government. And the one that really dominated and sort of shocked a lot of people is the Green Paper on National Planning Commission, which at the end of conference they resolved that it must be kicked out. They do not support the paper.
Okay, so this is the paper that Trevor Manuel's drawn up to direct planning from his new ministry in Jacob Zuma's presidency.
Yes.
And they see it as a threat to the position held by Ibrahim Patel.
Quite a number of things were raised, including the role of Ibrahim Patel's department, and other people said, SACP said the alliance was not consulted. NUMSA, NUM, and COSATU, which were also very vocal, one of the things that they raised, they said it threatens the strategy for the developmental state. But
what exactly are they objecting to in the Green Paper?
They the problem is they feel if they had consulted, it was supposed to include what Ibrahim Patel, the economic development thing, is supposed to do. They see it as a paper that is giving Manuel more powers.
So he's going to have the final say.
The final say, and also control the other ministries.
That.
Yes, they do not agree with that. That is why they say they resolved that it must be kicked out, and they do not support the Green Paper at all. They want it to be changed completely. And that debate is going to go to the alliance, that is going to alliance meeting, where the tripartite alliance meeting, where there will be SACP, COSATU, and ANC and SANCO, where they will discuss way forward. Maybe ANC will be able to convince them to say, let's look at it differently. But also, the ANC was invited to the Congress, and Gwerman Tashi, who is the Secretary General for the party, tried very hard to convince, and at some stage he told them that it's wrong for them to personalize the resolution.
It was getting kind of personal. There's
it
a
has
lot
been
of focus
personal
on Trevor Manuel.
I think they see Trevor from former President Thabo Mbeki's regime. They kept on mentioning GIE, and remember COSATU was against GIE, that he was part of the people that formulated GIE. So each time they referred to Manuel, they had to bring the old wounds of what happened during the Thabo Mbeki time on things that they did not agree with that regime at the time. Okay. So that also, the pain and the anger on Manuel comes from way back.
And then, quite an extraordinary, the story that you guys did, which we've got up here on the big screen, that Vavis saying, he's available to be elected to the ANC leadership in 2012. What did you make of that?
I liked his honesty at a personal level. But at the same time, he has previously refused, any nomination at ANC, to say, I'm focusing on COSATU. And now he's saying, I'm available, and I'm sure he'll be nominated. He's got so much support, and the only thing is, will he go to the SACP, or will he take both ANC and SACP? I think he's going to make it to one of the top 5 positions. But he chose that.
Is there a sense that, okay, we don't seem to be getting our way with the way in which government is being run at the highest level, and maybe we need to get our feet in the door at Luthuli House?
Already they have, I wouldn't say that, because COSATU, in one of Vavis documents, they are outlining they're naming quite a number of people that are MPs, that are ministers, and those that occupy strategic positions at provincial level. I think COSATU at the moment and SACP have quite a number of leaders in strategic positions or influential positions at ANC. The question that COSATU didn't get to discuss, which is not an old issue, is the one of, if we have a minister who comes from SACP or from COSATU, He has gone to government on the mandate of the ANC, as much as they say they are part of ANC. He's gone on to government on the ticket of the ANC. What if there is a policy that the person has to implement but differs with what COSATU wants? What happens? That part they didn't really get to discuss it, but it's one of those issues that are there, and they always say, how do we resolve them? Do they account to COSATU or do they account to the ANC? And the ANC say, these are our people. That is why Mantashe also, at the time when they were arguing on Manuel and Ibrahim Patel, they said, let's not try to bring a fight between the two people. Let's not personalize. Let's try and look at the issue in the green paper.
Okay. All right. Also in my notebook this week, I've got the whole question of Leonard Chuene. Since the Jacob Zuma's made a lot of noises about changing the whole culture in government to one of more accountability, making ministers accountable, and promising that the axe is going to fall on those who don't get their act together. And yet, out there, Athletics South Africa has taken a view that it's okay for Chuene to have made these very bizarre statements in public.
If you can check, since the Caster Semenya's issue, the Ministry of Sport has not said a word, because the Act doesn't allow, he doesn't have control over any. But
the Deputy
sports.
Minister did.
The Deputy Minister, it was a call following a meeting, but they still can't go to ASA and dictate. They can't go to SAFA and dictate. All these sport bodies, they have their own rules which have nothing to do with government. The minister can only come through and say, how do we work on this? And if they don't agree with him, they can tell him, hey, get out of our faces. So that is the challenge. My only worry about this is, why did Leonard Chuene, when the noise started, didn't take any of government officials into confidence to say this girl was tested? The President Jacob Zuma is the President of the Republic. He spoke on the matter. It doesn't matter what he said, whether he spoke against IAAF or it wasn't against, but the president had a view on the matter when he welcomed
of some very powerful
people. I think that is wrong, and I don't agree. I don't agree with ASA to vote that he must remain. Leonard Chuene has embarrassed the country, and it's time that he goes.
Okay, thank you very much, Moipone, and that's all for our political notebook for this week.